This isn't gonna work well.
It's fun.
Sometimes it's good news.
We are going to take a piece of my layout, strip it right down to nothing.
And sometimes it's not. How am I going to move all this crap? But every time, it's my railroad. Hey rail fans, thank you for joining me today on It's My Railroad. This is a show about a regular guy building his model railroad, the regular guy kind of way. I learn some good stuff and I make some mistakes, just kind of like a regular model railroader would do. So we have a lot of fun with our community here. So if that's the kind of thing you're into, why not just subscribe and then go ahead and push the little bell icon so you can catch future videos. If you've been following along with us over the last few weeks, you know that we're getting ready to move. Matter of fact, I am standing in the hobby room, as it is now, on the cusp of moving. It's only a couple of weeks away, and we got to start tearing this thing down right now because I got some holes to patch and a lot of details that I will share with you guys as we move forward. But this kind of brings some good news and some not as good news to light. The good news is I was able to go over this last weekend to the new place, look at the new train room, and really kind of get pumped up about what we're going to be able to do in there. It's very exciting for me, and hopefully you'll enjoy what you see coming in future episodes. As a matter of fact, I'll tell you what, I made a quick little video about that garage or the new hobby room, whatever we're going to call it, and I'd like to show that to you right now.
Well, rail fans, I am standing presently in the echoey chamber that is going to become the new home of the Brownsmith Railroad. This is the new train room, hobby room, whatever we're going to call it, is right here. Over here by this door is where we're going to end up with probably a new helix, people, because the other one's not going to work, and I'll show you why when we get back to the current hobby room. But see, you've got all this length along here, and it's kind of hard to see here, but all the way back around and coming back to where I'm standing now. This is actually 20 feet of usable space by 10.5 feet of usable space. Now, if I get real carried away, I can encroach on Mama's space a little bit. If she'll let me, she probably won't. She'll just side smack me. Boom, there you go. Anyway, so what you can expect to see when we get in here finally is to see a deck that sits up right about here. It's pretty high, but for me, totally cool. And then the second deck right about here and storage underneath. So I gotta do some lighting, I gotta put some cabinets up, really turn this place into my dream hobby room. So that's your report in advance from the new train room for the BSR. So until we actually get over here, that'll be it. You get to be a part of it when it happens.
So there you go. That'll be the new home of the BSR once we get over there to the new place. Before then, though, I have got to clean this place out and get it ready to move. And that's posing some challenges. But one of the challenges I want to share with you right now is the new footprint for where the layout's going to go. I tried in my head to come up with a track plan that would incorporate what you see back here, what you've been seeing over the last few weeks with what's going to happen in the new hobby room. And quite frankly, this doesn't work over there. I would just be sort of like band-aiding and duct taping a piece on the end of or something to make it work. And you know, that's not what I'm about. I want to enjoy my railroad, and I'm pretty excited about what I'm going to be able to do with it. So what I'm going to do real quick here is I'm going to show you the condition this hobby room is in so you get some kind of an idea what's going to be happening. And then I'm going to tell you some other stuff I'll share with you as we move forward, okay? I've got my old, let's say, roaming cam here, my handheld, and we're just going to start over here at the switch junction kind of helix complex. Now, you guys know that's the helix complex right there. And the thing is, the helix complex and the 5% grade, going bye-bye. I don't need to do it, and this part of it's not going to work anyway. But And as we move forward, I'm going to show you more about that, okay, in upcoming weeks. I'll show you why and what we're going to replace it with. That might be kind of fun. So as we look at this, I'm traveling along here, and you see we've got switch junction. We've got this whole second deck that I've been putting in. I got some cork laid for it. I got some track just sort of tacked down on it. And then, of course, I got some track I've actually glued down, soldered down, and actually put the AR1s in to control polarity. This configuration doesn't work over at the new place. And again, I tried to figure out a way to incorporate it. And, you know, it's kind of like putting a Band-Aid over a scab and then painting over that. It's just underneath there's still a scab. That was a terrible illustration. Sorry. It's been a harrowing few days. But anyway, up top, if you guys remember, this is what the old BSR looks like right now. This is my baby up here, and where it all kind of started. If you guys, when we first met, it was most likely over here when we were rebuilding that logging camp, and we're going to get back to that in a second. But as we move along, we see the port. Port was never finished. And then way back over here, that's Brownsville. And quite honestly, when I built Brownsville, it was in haste because we had a 4th of July party coming and I wanted my trains to run through something scenic. It's never been quite what I wanted. I like some of the features of it, but it's not perfect. What I do like about it, let me show you this, is way back here. I really dig the way this part of the scene came out. It looks pretty awesome. I really love that. So anyway, as you guys know, I've got to break all this out and move it to the new place. Let's just start at the very top, shall we? Looking up here with the old roving cam, that shelf, all that crap on it, and the track lighting, we're gonna take that down first. And the thing is, I don't have a place in this hobby room to put any of that stuff. But even still, it's gotta go down. That track lighting is gonna get replaced with LED lighting at the other end. And there's gonna be like a sort of cupboard kind of valance kind of thing above it. I really wanna make this look really good in the new train room. Not so cobbled together like you see it up here. Oh, by the way, this light right here, yeah, that was my first light. I didn't even have any other lighting. I built a bunch of this layout with just that light. Gonna go away. We're gonna replace it with some drop fluorescence. It's gonna look really nice when we're done. And then the whole bottom deck, again, we're looking at the bottom deck. By the way, let me pan back for just a second. Let's see if I can give you enough of a view of what this hobby room looks like right now as I plan all this stuff. You see, look, I still haven't fully unpacked from going to Maui. Look around there. Hey, look, those are my slippers. Huh, it's getting cold here. Socks alone don't get it. Anyway, so that whole bottom deck, I think I can use the framework for it here and there, but I'm going to be able to put a bigger dimension in on some different stuff. And so some of this you may see go bye-bye. Some of it may get cut up and reused. I've got ideas for how all that's going to happen. We don't have time right now to cover all of that. But here's the significant thing about this, and that is this thing is sectional still, and I got to break it into sections, but the only part of it that really is a must keep, without question, nothing can happen to it, is back over here starting at the logging camp. You guys know that in this section right here, we put a ton of time into that. Look at the details in there and how it came out, the custom row bed we put in there. This is protected, period, in place. And then as we move a little further, I built that bridge from scratch. The gorge, my first water effect, I built that bridge from scratch. I even started working on this tree just sort of lying down here across the river. I thought it was kind of cool. Never quite finished it. And then of course up here at the coal mine, I scratch built that retaining wall, and I've really had a lot of fun up here. So come the end of the day, that needs to be protected, period. It's gonna happen. And you know, if I'm a regular guy model railroader, that's what a regular guy does, all right? So let me show you sort of the, not challenge, but let me show you what we're gonna end up doing so you kind of know what's going and what's not. If we come back over here, if you look right under here, this right here is one of the joints that I need to unbolt that'll take this section off of this section, all right? So right in through here, where my hand is, that is a joint that should break away, which means back here, way back there, I got track I got to snip. I got track here I got to snip. As I move down here, I got to pull out that turnout, this curved turnout that we just put in, and then cut along there. So that's one thing. That's relatively easy. Unfortunately, in spite of my best plan, right here is the next joint. And I was really creative in building the scenery right here where both sides are easily separatable. Problem is, I really like the way that waterfall and that creek came out. And when I laid this piece of track and everything in here, I really don't want to mess it up. It looks really awesome. It runs really well, and I don't want to mess it up. If you recall, these structures will come off. All of these structures I can take off the layout, so I don't have to worry about that. So then where do I separate the layout? Is your next question. I can't separate it here. That's still a logging camp. Don't like separating it there because that's where my coal trestle is. So somewhere back over here, somewhere in this area here, and I haven't figured it out yet. Somewhere in here, I'm going to basically take the structures off the layout and take my Sawzall, and I'm just going to cut right through it. Just cut it out. I have learned that I can repair scenery, splice track, and all that relatively easily. It's not necessarily the end of the world every time when I do that. So anyway, I got to get that done. The rest of this is just going to come off, and sadly, a lot of it's just going to probably get trashed. I don't know what else to do with it. But another challenge I have in doing all this is it's all got to come off so I can patch the walls and paint it because that's what the new buyer wants. I don't have any place to put it at my house, and I can't move it to the new place. So it's going to get moved twice, and I'll show it to you when the time comes. But all of this is going to get loaded into the bed of my truck, and my F-150 has got one of those little bitch beds in it. It's a really small bed. I call it an executive bed. Anyway, not really going to fit so well. I'm going to take it a couple miles down the road to my office and put it in the warehouse, which, quite frankly, that means I won't have a layout in front of me for like 2 weeks. And I've really, over the last 2.5 years, I've really grown accustomed to having my layout to look at and to admire and to futz around with. I won't be able to do that. So that's kind of going to go bye-bye. So anyway, that's what's happening with the railroad. And so where this brings us to is, unfortunately, I will not even have the ability to work on a railroad, work on the scratch-built structure we're doing for some time. And I've got some plans for that and what we're going to do. And quite frankly, this video has gone on long enough. So if you tune in, if you're watching this on the 15th of November, tune in the following Saturday morning for Track Smack, our live broadcast. And we'll go into more details about it. And you can actually ask me some questions and I'll answer the questions, okay? And we'll kind of get it squared away. But that's what I'm up against. And I think part of the fun of this, or the beauty of this, is that this is what happens in a real model railroading environment. I mean, you don't always get to build it and it lasts for 20 years, you know? You don't always make it easy to move. And I thought I had, but I've kind of paved over some places, and then it doesn't fit the way I want it to fit in the new place. So anyway, that's kind of an update on what we're doing here on the old Brown Smith Railroad. You know, more videos are going to be coming. I'm still going to be shooting all of this stuff, even if you don't necessarily see a live update right now on it. It's happening. But for more information and more details, again, tune into Track Smack on Saturday, and we'll go over some more of it then, and I'll answer your questions. So I'd like to say this is the kind of stuff we do here on It's My Railroad, but it's not always the kind of stuff we do. But what we always do is present to you a regular person, just like the regular schmo, working on a railroad. We're not seasoned professionals trying to show you the perfect and polished way to do everything. I call it a how-to show. It's not really a how-to show. It's how I do it show. And a lot of you enjoy that, and I appreciate that, by the way. And speaking of appreciation, You people that have subscribed and have been with me on this channel since February of last year, helping us grow to 6,000 subscribers. You guys are awesome. And my commitment to you is we're gonna keep this train running, even if there's a hiccup every now and then because the crew needs to go on break or whatever the illustration is gonna be. So anyway, again, thanks again for being here. Thanks for watching this video, and it's my railroad. I hope you enjoyed it. And until next time, rail on, my friends.